I just sensed that there could be something in my family history that would be disappointing.
Negative.
Negative, yes. I thought I was gonna have that kind of moment. And Skip had asked me to do it for a long time, and I finally decided to do it because I thought it'd be helpful for my children.
Joy Behar's sudden exit from The View has sparked a significant amount of conversation and speculation among fans, critics, and media outlets alike. Joy Behar, a longtime host of the daytime talk show, was known for her outspoken and often controversial comments, which frequently drew both praise and criticism. However, her departure seemed to have caught many by surprise, especially given her prominence on the show. The timing of her exit came shortly after a legal issue involving another individual, Karoline Leavitt, who filed a lawsuit against Bahar. This legal action led many to wonder whether the lawsuit was the primary reason for Joy Behar's abrupt removal from The View. The suit accused Joy Behar of defamation, claiming that her comments about Leavitt were damaging and based on unfounded assumptions. As the lawsuit gained attention, the situation surrounding Behar's departure quickly escalated from a simple disagreement to a full-fledged controversy. While Joy Behar was no stranger to controversies during her time on The View, this particular incident appeared to have reached a boiling point. With the legal implications surrounding the lawsuit, ABC executives found themselves in a difficult position. They had to consider how to manage the growing public outrage and whether it was necessary to take drastic action in order to protect the show's reputation. Behind the scenes, reports indicated that the network was grappling with several options, ranging from issuing a public apology to possibly suspending Joy Behar or even cutting ties with her completely. In the midst of this controversy, Joy Behar remained defiant. She brushed off the criticism, claiming it was just another overreaction to her humor. Despite this, the legal and public pressure seemed to grow, making it more difficult for ABC to ignore the situation. Ultimately, the network announced Joy Behar's departure, leaving many to wonder if this decision was a result of the mounting backlash or if it was a voluntary exit. The controversy surrounding her removal continues to be a topic of discussion, raising questions about the future direction of The View and whether the show can recover from this public shakeup. The fallout was swift, as audience members visibly reacted in discomfort, and co-hosts exchanged glances that hinted at their unease with Bahar's words. Bahar's attempt to downplay the comment as a joke did little to quell the anger. For many, the remark was seen as crossing a line, especially given the progressive stance The View typically takes on issues like gender equality and women's rights. The situation escalated quickly, and what started as a routine debate on the show turned into a full-blown controversy, leaving Bahar's reputation and that of the show in jeopardy. Joy Behar's comment about Karoline Leavitt stirred up significant controversy, not only because of its offensive nature, but because it seemed to directly contradict Bahar's well-established stance as an advocate for women's empowerment. Bahar had spent years positioning herself as a strong supporter of feminism, advocating for women's rights and equality in both the workplace and society at large. Her past remarks often focused on the importance of recognizing women for their abilities, achievements, and intellect, rather than reducing them to their appearance.
She's European.
Yeah.
I know. It's weird because when you look at her, my mother's blonde and she has light eyes, and my whole family looks like that. So I think inside, I sort of knew that this was my history, and that's probably why I didn't want to do it. And I spoke to my mom about it. She was deeply disappointed. She actually cried about it.
This history made her comment about Leavitt especially ironic. By suggesting that Leavitt had been hired due to her looks, Bahar's words undermined everything she had previously championed. It wasn't just that the comment was inappropriate, but it felt like a betrayal of the very ideal she had long espoused. As someone who had been vocal about the need to challenge traditional gender norms and expectations, particularly in media and professional settings, her remark was seen as a significant contradiction. The irony was not lost on viewers and commentators, as they pointed out that Bahar, who had been outspoken in support of women in positions of power, had herself reduced a woman's value to her physical appearance. This situation sparked an intense debate about whether Bahar was a true feminist, or whether she was just paying lip service to feminist ideals without fully embodying them in her actions. What made the situation even more challenging for Bahar was the perception that she had inadvertently undermined other women who have fought to be recognized recognized for their skills and intelligence, not their looks. By making such a comment, she seemed to validate the harmful stereotype that a woman's worth is tied to her physical appearance, which was seen as deeply contradictory to the progressive stance she had built her public persona on. The backlash was swift and severe, with many people questioning how someone with such a strong feminist voice could make a remark that so directly conflicted with her advocacy. Karoline Leavitt's response to Joy Behar's controversial comment was swift and impactful. Instead of issuing a public statement condemning Bahar's remarks, Leavitt chose to take legal action by filing a lawsuit against Bahar, accusing her of defamation and character assassination. Leavitt argued that Bahar's comments were not only false, but also made with malicious intent, aiming to damage her reputation and professional standing. This decision to file a lawsuit was a clear indication that Leavitt was not willing to let the matter slide or be dismissed as a joke. It was a move that took the controversy beyond public opinion and social media outrage, bringing legal ramifications into the picture. Leavitt's lawsuit claimed that Bahar's remark falsely implied she had been hired for her physical appearance rather than her qualifications or professional skills. This type of public attack, Leavitt argued, could severely impact her credibility and the way she was perceived by both the public and her peers in her professional field. The legal action quickly became a focal point of the growing media firestorm surrounding Bahar's comment. The lawsuit was not just about one woman defending her character, it also raised important questions about the boundaries of free speech and the consequences of publicly disparaging someone's career. Legal experts weighed in on whether Bahar's remarks could be classified as slander and whether ABC, as the network airing The View, could be held responsible for the content that aired without intervention. Leavitt's decision to take legal action further complicated the situation for Bahar and ABC. While Bahar initially dismissed the criticism as an overreaction, the lawsuit placed serious legal pressure on the network. This turn of events made the controversy more than just a fleeting scandal. It became a full-fledged legal battle, drawing the attention of both the media and the public in a way that made Bahar's position on the show more precarious than ever.
And then she said, maybe that's why I have been so connected to Black culture, because it's an atonement in my spirit. And I received that. I also found out that, and there were slaves on both sides of her family, mothers and fathers, but we are 7% indigenous Puerto Rican.
The legal action filed by Karoline Leavitt created a significant shift in the dynamics of the controversy surrounding Joy Behar's comment. The lawsuit accused Bahar of defamation, arguing that her remarks about Leavitt's hiring were not only untrue, but made with the intention to harm Leavitt's reputation. This claim added a layer of complexity to the situation, making it not just a public debate, but a matter with serious legal consequences. As the lawsuit gained media attention, it quickly turned the focus onto ABC, the network behind The View, raising important questions about whether the show and its producers could be held accountable for airing the contentious remark. The lawsuit served to intensify the public scrutiny of Bahar's behavior and the role of the network in allowing her comment to go unchallenged. Legal experts began weighing in, speculating whether Bahar's words could be classified as slander. This brought additional pressure on ABC to either distance themselves from Bahar's actions or potentially face legal repercussions. The situation created a difficult dilemma for the network, which had dealt with controversies surrounding Bahar in the past, but never to this extent. As the controversy grew, the prospect of a legal battle became more likely, putting ABC in damage control mode. The network faced the tough decision of whether to take responsibility for Bahar's comments, issue a public apology, or consider further disciplinary actions. The legal landscape made the stakes much higher for both Bahar and the network, with reputational damage at risk. It was clear that the situation had escalated far beyond a typical on-air disagreement, and ABC executives had to navigate the legal implications while also considering the potential impact on the show's future. With the lawsuit threatening to tarnish ABC's image, it seemed increasingly unlikely that the network could simply ignore the growing storm. The involvement of legal proceedings signaled that the fallout from Bahar's comment was far from over, and the potential consequences for the network would only continue to unfold. Amid the growing controversy and the escalating legal battle surrounding Joy Behar's comments, ABC executives found themselves under immense pressure to make crucial decisions about Bahar's future on The View. The situation quickly shifted from being a typical on-air argument to something much more serious, involving public backlash and legal ramifications. With Leavitt's lawsuit gaining momentum, the network was faced with multiple options on how to address the fallout, all of which had significant implications for both the show and its longtime host. Behind the scenes, reports revealed that ABC executives were holding emergency meetings to evaluate the best course of action. Some staff members reportedly stood by Behar, supporting her right to express her opinions as part of the show's often controversial dynamic. However, others within the network quietly acknowledged that the situation had become untenable. The mounting legal pressure, combined with the widespread public criticism, created a scenario in which continuing business as usual was no longer feasible, and considering their next steps, ABC had several options.
I have an ancestor, my third great-grandfather, immediately registered to vote even though he was illiterate. And he voted with an X, Dean Cummings with an X. And then he was threatened with lynching by the KKK, by others in the South.
One possibility was to issue a public apology, either from Bahar herself or from the network, addressing the offense caused by her comment. This would have been a way to contain the immediate fallout and show the public that the network was taking the issue seriously. However, some insiders speculated that this might not be enough to quell the outrage, given the severity of the backlash. Another option under consideration was suspending Bahar from The View, possibly as a way to cool tensions and allow the network to address the controversy without losing one of its most outspoken hosts permanently. Some even suggested that ABC could decide to sever ties with Behar altogether, ending her long run on the show. In any case, the situation forced ABC to reassess its approach to The View. The network had weathered controversies in the past, but this was different. With the threat of a defamation lawsuit looming and public opinion shifting, the network had to make a difficult decision, one that would shape the future of both the show and Bahar's career. Despite the mounting backlash and public outcry, Joy Behar remained defiant in the face of criticism. Initially, she brushed off the controversy surrounding her remark about Karoline Leavitt, downplaying the situation as a typical overreaction to her sense of humor. Bahar is known for her bold personality and often controversial comments on The View, and she seemed to believe that this instance would blow over like many others had in the past. However, as the legal pressure from Leavitt's defamation lawsuit continued to grow, it became clear that this controversy was different, and her defiance started to work against her. Rather than issuing a formal apology or attempting to address the concerns directly, Behar's refusal to acknowledge the gravity of the situation contributed to the escalating tension surrounding her departure. This stance, combined with the growing support for Leavitt's legal action, made Behar's position on The View increasingly untenable. The legal and public pressure continued to mount, and the situation quickly transitioned from a standard media controversy to a full-fledged crisis. As the lawsuit gained traction, it became harder for Bahar to ignore the implications of her words, especially with ABC's reputation and the future of the show now at stake. While Behar initially dismissed the situation as a minor setback, the reality of her diminishing position on the show became increasingly apparent. ABC executives, under pressure from the public and the legal challenges, had to make difficult decisions about how to handle the controversy, leading to further speculation that Bahar's exit was imminent. The growing legal threat and the unrelenting public criticism eventually made it clear that Behar's stance was no longer viable, as the network's need to protect its image and avoid further damage to the show's credibility overtook any desire to protect a long-standing host.